Hello everyone, good evening. Am I audible? Yes, online students, am I audible? On Zoom, on YouTube, please confirm so that we can start. Yes everyone, am I visible? Am I audible? Please confirm in the chat. Okay, good. So I believe most of you are already a part of this program about which we are going to talk. Apart from that, we will also be talking about how to proceed in next 2 months. But before that, I also believe that you all are going to clear the prelims this year. Yes. So if you are still not sure, still this session is going to help you a lot, because the strategy, the things which we are going to discuss in this session is not only for the mains appearing candidate in 2026, but if you are thinking about 2027, this skill which I will be talking about is going to be very helpful, right? So prelims का paper देखने के बाद I am pretty sure you must be having some kind of thought in your mind, and that critical thought is, what if the UPSC repeats the same pattern in the mains also, right? What if all the questions which UPSC are going to ask in the mains is out of box without any pattern? So we should be prepared for unpredicted questions, right? Because in last few years also we have been noticing that the questions are more or less very open ended question, राइट डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस नहीं आ रहे हैं, स्पेशली जो हम नोट्स बना रहे हैं, जो पीडीएफ रेफर कर रहे हैं, या जो भी हमने ड्यूरिंग द प्रिपरेशन वट एवर द नोट्स वी हैव प्रिपेयर्ड, राइट? So that is the reason why I wanted to talk with you all, so that we can decide what we are going to do in next couple of months. So many students from in last couple of days, I have spoken to almost 30 students who are going to appear for the mains in 2026, and most of you have a very common question in your head, and that common question is, sir, how to utilize the time, or how to prepare the strategy to cover everything for mains 2026, right? That is the first question. So most of you have a common query, how we should be utilizing the time, how much time we should be spending with the answer writing, how much time we should be spending with the notes making, how much time we should be spending for the essay, or you can say the optional. But apart from the scheduling or the timetable, very few students have asked me the most important question, and that question is, can anyone guess? Rather than the schedule or the timetable, what is the most important question we should ask ourselves? Yes, the most important question we should ask ourselves is, first you need to ask yourself, where do you stand? Do you have the notes? If not, how, like, to what extent you have the notes? You have done the answer writing, where do you lack, right? You have done the PYQ analysis, but still, whether you have done it rightly or not, that is the question you should ask yourself first. Only then we can decide. Good evening, everyone. Then only we can decide what needs to be done. So I will be talking about each and everything. So first, how many of you are already the part of senior program, which we started back in October and November? Okay, you all are part of that program. So we have done the PYQ brainstorming sessions, right? There are more than 80 sessions, correct, where we have covered the 40 years of the previous year's question. So I want to make an announcement. After talking with so many veterans, senior students, they have requested, sir, there has to be something on a daily basis, कि हम लोग को daily brainstorming करनी है, the way we used to do it on the Zoom, right? So all those students who are part of the senior program, who have enrolled in October and November or December, we are going to give mains camp. Are you aware of mains camp? So mains camp में basically there will be 5 questions on a daily basis. This mains camp will start at 8 o'clock in the morning. So the 5 questions you can practice on a daily basis. It won't get evaluated for you guys because we are giving it without any cost, right? So for senior program, we are going, who are already enrolled into this, we are going to offer this program free of cost. The reason is why we are giving it, so that we can interact on a daily basis, right? Because right now you have only FLTs to write, but I have seen most of the students after the prelims, what they do, they join the FLTs directly कि चलो full length test लिखते हैं, right? This is what they do, but there is a problem with that approach. What is the problem? You all of you might have written the FLTs test in your previous attempt after the prelims. What is the problem with this approach? Anyone? The major problem with the FLTs are, we think when we write the FLTs, my answer writing will improve. That is wrong. When you write the FLTs and if you think your answer writing will improve, that is wrong. Your answer writing will improve when you brainstorm the questions. Because this is what I have been explaining throughout the classes. Brainstormings are outward process. It's not an inward process. When we write the FLTs, we only think about the notes. We only think about whatever the material I have consolidated over the period of time. When we do the brainstorming, we actually think out of the box solution. So brainstorming is extremely important. So there are 3 components which you have, which you should have in your mind, and based on those 3 components, you have to prioritize, or you have to schedule, or you have to make your timetable. So for example, right now you have 3 things. One is answer writing. Second thing is content enrichment. And the third is basically brainstorming. And fourth is revision. So when I will be talking about the schedule, how you should be planning, I will talk about the how you can enrich your content and all, okay? But please make sure you should be very attentive, okay? Because each and every step which I am going to talk about is very, very crucial. And I will make sure that all your doubts are addressed in this session only. Otherwise, आप इधर से उधर 10 दिन ऐसे ही waste करने वाले हो, ठीक है? So please make sure you watch this session completely. Now, 90% of the student, they will be running after which component? Yes, content and also answer writing, right? Almost 90% of the student will be running after answer writing or content, right? Hardly any student will focus on brainstorming, because we have done it. We have done the brainstorming, right? Last 40 years of previous year's question, we have already done, we have done the brainstorming. But my point is this brainstorming sessions which we have done is enough? Are you able to recall everything we have done in the class? See, it is not only about the recalling. I will give you a question right now, and I will ask you to tell me whether you are able to brainstorm that question or not. If you are not able to brainstorm that question, it means you need to redo it. You have to redo it, right? As far as the revision is concerned, how do we do the revision? We pick up the notes and we revise it. We read it once, twice, thrice, 4 times. It will not help you. Even if you do it like this 10 times, it will not help you. Whenever I say revision, I frequently use this word. Revision has to be active. There are 2 kinds of revision. One is active revision, one is passive revision. 99% of the student believe in the passive revision. But what is active revision? We will discuss that, and how it will be done, that is also we are going to discuss. Right? Now, as far as the answer writing is concerned, right? I'm not saying that you should skip the full length test. I'm not saying this. But you need to understand what is the purpose of answer writing. When I'm saying answer writing, I'm talking about the FLTs. At least 10 to 15 students I have interacted in just last 2 days who are not the part of this program. And they told me, sir, joining only the full length test did not help us. Joining the full length test did not help us, right? So what is the problem? The problem is same, because when we do the answer writing, we only think inward. हम लोग खाली ये सोचते हैं जो हमारे नोट्स में हम उसी को कैसे यूज करें, बट आपको यही नहीं पता है कि whether the notes which you have prepared is good enough or not. आपके नोट्स क्या हैं? Either you have compiled it from the PDF, either you have compiled it from watching the videos, or most probably जहां तक मुझे लगता है कि मार्केट में ऐसे नोट्स आजकल आ गए हैं, 1 पेजर नोट्स, राइट? बहुत सारे लोग क्लेम करते हैं रीड दिस नोट एंड योर मेंस विल बी क्लियर, जैसे प्रीलिम्स में लोग करते थे, रीड दीस नोट्स एंड योर प्रीलिम्स विल बी क्लियर. क्या हुआ? एवरीवन इज नाउ क्राइंग, राइट? सो डोंट डू इट. What is the process to prepare the notes or to make sure your notes are good? I will discuss that, right? So I have got the PDF and I will explain you how to do it. That is the first part. Second thing is content enrichment. This is the most important part, content enrichment, because content enrichment and along this use, इस कंटेंट को यूज भी तो करना है आंसर में. It will not come. The use of content, जब मैं बोल रहा हूं तो मतलब आपके पास कंटेंट होना भी चाहिए एंड कंटेंट को यूज भी करना आना चाहिए. This will not happen if you are not going to brainstorm the question and if you are not going to brainstorm the PYQs or the questions. You will not be able to use the content. It's my challenge to you. अभी मैं क्वेश्चन दिखा रहा हूं आप लोगों को, ठीक है? Now, the third thing is, which is extremely important, why I wanted to talk to you through this session. The reason is, you all are veterans. I'm sure you will be just struggling to score 1 extra marks, right? 1 marks extra in each and every answer. That is what we are struggling for, right? 1 number extra आ जाएगा तो you will get 50-60 marks extra in mains. And this 1 marks does not depend entirely on the content, right? एक चीज मैं आपको बता देता हूं, right? That thing is very, very simple. Just a second. There is content. What is this, man? Right? And use of content. Both are different things. I have many students who have a good content, but they are not able to use it in the answer. Why it is so? Why it is so? The reason is because we don't want to use it. We don't practice it, right? So as far as the 1 marks are concerned, only 1 marks. It will not only come with the content, but the idea. एक idea आपके सामने होना चाहिए कि what is the idea we should have while reading the question, right? So my simple answer to all those students who are just looking for 1 marks, please do not only focus on the content or answer writing, just focus on the brainstorming. I will show you how the brainstorming basically helps us. That is the first part, right? For example, So there are two things we will be dealing with in this session. The first thing is, first we will understand the importance or how to focus on just 1 marks. And the second part, we are going to deal with the scheduling or the planning, how we should be planning next 2-3 months for notes making, for revision, for even essay, or even for current affair. How we should be including all these in our strategy. So as far as the 1 marks are concerned, right? What did I explain you in the brainstorming session? Anyone? Yes? What did I explain in the brainstorming sessions? 1 marks कैसे extra लाने हम लोगों को? You always have to think the person who is sitting in front of you could be a rank 1, right? Now, for example, this is a question. All of you can read this question. आप लोगों ने attempt किया होगा. Yes? Okay, read the question. Now, when we think about, जब भी आप brainstorm कर रहे हो, right? Always have this thought in your mind that you have to create impact. ये word ध्यान में रखना. Impact. Be it introduction, be it your main body, be it your content, value addition, representation or presentation, or conclusion. At every stage, you have to think how you can create an impact. Now, as far as the introduction is concerned, see, I am not teaching you what to write. Focus on the idea, okay? It's my humble request from everyone. Focus on the idea which I am going to discuss. Why I am doing this? Because when you are doing a brainstorming of the question, this is exact process you have to follow. And you are going to do it on a daily basis. That is the reason we are providing you with the mains question as well. As far as the introduction is concerned, what do you think most of the students will be writing? Yes, online, on YouTube, Zoom. What do you think most of the students will be writing?
Section of RPA.
Yes, online student. What is RPA and its provision? Okay, Yash. What else? What is corrupt practice means? What else? On Zoom? Scroll. Zoom. On Zoom, please tell me. You are all our senior students. Yes? क्या लिखोगे इस पे इंट्रोडक्शन में यार सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन है यू ऑल हैव अटेंड परसेंटेज ऑफ करप्शन some data and recent examples. Some data का क्या मतलब है? What kind of data? Okay, some of you are saying about RPA. Some of or some of you are saying corrupt practices. Some of you are saying data. But the question remains same. What data? Right? Now, as far as the introduction is itself concerned, we are not sure कि हम क्या डेटा लिखें, मतलब क्या आंसर लिखेंगे. What is RPA and its provision? 53% of the MPs in Lok Sabha are having criminal cases against them. Is it about the criminalization of politics? Is it about the question about the criminalization of politics? Answer is no. Now, problem you जानते हो problem कहां पे आ रही है? Why you are not able to think? What is the right introduction? क्या problem है? Why you are not able to think what is the most appropriate introduction for this? Because you are not asking yourself what is, because you are not asking yourself why this question is asked. Why this question is asked. Why this question is asked? Now, अब तो बता दो. What is the intention of the examiner behind this question? What is the intent of the examiner behind this question? In one word. Mrigendra, no, wrong answer. Karthik, wrong answer. See, this is a problem. If you are not able to identify the intent of the examiner, you will not be able to hit the core demand of the question. It's my promise, it's my challenge to you. अगर आप इंटेंशन ही नहीं समझ पा रहे हो क्वेश्चन की, तो कहां से लिखोगे आंसर? To check if you have a knowledge about the provisions of RPA, that is fine. Right? So the data which I am expecting in this answer is to highlight, yes, very good Shiv, undue influence. Undue influence comes under which article? Section, which section of the RPA Act? 123. आगे 123(1), 123(2), 123(3), 123(4). Yes, 123. जैसे corrupt practices is 123, but what constitutes the corrupt practices? अभी यार ये बेसिक ही नहीं पढ़ी है आप लोगों ने अभी तक, राइट? 123(8). Crorepati syndrome. Anyam, yes, very good. This Crorepati syndrome, someone was saying, please put it in the group message, then I can see it. Right. So basically, the thing is, the data which I am saying here, यहाँ पे data आपको लिखना है. Data what? There is a debate. In this question, there is a debate. What is the debate? Debate तो identify कर लो. क्या है debate? Yes? Debate is whether disproportionate income. Debate is whether disproportionate income right to their known sources of income would constitute undue influence. Whether disproportionate income would constitute undue influence. Is this the debate or not? Question क्या पूछ रहा है? Simple. यही पूछ रहा है ना? Whether the disproportionate income or assets would constitute undue influence. अब इसी को तो आपको रिफ्लेक्ट करना है अपने इंट्रोडक्शन में. And why this question is asked? Because there is a problem. हमारे यहां इलेक्शन सिस्टम में there is a problem. Problem क्या है? करोड़पति syndromes. What is the करोड़पति syndrome? करोड़पति syndrome means For example, there are couple of datas, right? Data means, for example, according to the ADR report, average assets value of MLAs, MPs or MLAs is 40 crore as compared to 5 crore in 2009. So ऐसा देखा जा रहा है कि there is a direct link between the disproportionate income with winning of the election. कहीं ना कहीं डायरेक्ट लिंक है इस चीज का, राइट? एंड दिस इज अ कंसर्न. तो कहीं ना कहीं गवर्नमेंट को ऐसा लग रहा है कि मे बी दीज वेल्दी रिच पॉलिटिशियंस आर इन्फ्लुएंसिंग द इलेक्शन, द चॉइस ऑफ द वोटर्स. ऐसा लग रहा है. सो दैट इज व्हाट द क्वेश्चन सेज. टू डिस्कस this, analyze whether the increase in the assets of legislatures and their associates disproportionate to their income source of known source of income would constitute undue influence and consequently a corrupt practices. तो यहां पे I have to give some data. This is the crorepati syndrome, right? There is another data I have written. For example, 80% of the MPs and MLAs are crorpatis. And there is a threat that they can influence the outcome of the election. That is the reason why UPSC want you to explore this. Right? Even I could have told you to start your introduction with the RPA Act. I could have told you that start your introduction with section 123, which defines the corrupt practices, which is not wrong. But here we are talking about an edge. ठीक है, हम लोग को यहाँ पे edge लेना है. Because like I have told you, the person who is sitting in front of you could be a rank 1. So you have to make sure whatever the introduction you are writing, they are the best possible introduction. So this is the thought of introduction. Now, many of you will say, sir, I don't have this data. यही कहोगे ना? That is the reason I am not able to use it. Yes or no? Many of you will say, I don't have this data. How can I use it? Now, my question to you, why don't you have this data? भाई डेटा क्यों नहीं है तुम्हारे पास? ये तो PYQ है. Why you don't have the data? Because you are relying completely on something else. भैया मार्केट में जाके उठाओगे तो यही चीज होगी. You will get half cooked information. That is the reason why brainstorming is very, very important. Right? आजकल Claude आ गया, Chat GPT आ गया. Anyone can compile the 80-page notes and they can give it to you. But the problem is how to use them, where to use them, what kind of data to use it. That is important to understand. And most importantly, without brainstorming, would you understand this? Whether I should be using this data or I should be going for the just defining the RPA? That is quite easy. तो क्यों करना है ये काम? यार mains दे रहे हो, I would say intro should be based on overall thing first line because it says corrupt practices. Suppose I write it and how to come back to address it first line. यश कुमार सी, इंट्रोडक्शन में एक सिंपल सा मैं आपको एक फॉर्मूला बता देता हूं. व्हाट यू हैव टू राइट इन द इंट्रोडक्शन. इंट्रोडक्शन शुड बी द आंसर ऑफ व्हाई दिस क्वेश्चन इज आस्क्ड एंड यू नीड टू जस्टिफाई इट. व्हाई दिस क्वेश्चन इज आस्क्ड एंड जस्टिफाई इट. Right? So I have justified, yes, this is a problem and I have given the data. As simple as that. So as far as my introduction is concerned, I am going to create an impact in the introduction itself, right? As far as the body is concerned, main body, right? I know what is, let me create a box, right? One is the generic approach, and one is, for example, the rankers approach, or one marks extra approach. After reading this question for the first time, probably you have written the answer of this question in the 2025. What is the subheading? At least tell me the subheading you would have created in your answer, or you would create in your answer. The number of subheadings. Yes? बताओ भाई. It's a 10 mark. It was a 10 marker question. It's a 10 marker question, right? Okay. 10 marker question. Suppose these are the 2 pages, right? यहां तक आपने इंट्रोडक्शन लिख दिया, फॉर एग्जाम्पल. Now, Ajay says 2 subheadings. What is the first subheading in the answer? What is the first subheading in the answer? Yes? Corrupt practices under the RPA Act. Okay? That is the corrupt practices under the RPA Act. What is the second subheading? Second is undue influence. What is the third subheading? Way forward. That's it. Undue influence, right? Are we not supposed to divide this also? Are we not supposed to divide it? Yes, it may undue influence and it may not. Which is the core demand of the question? Second. This is my core demand of the question, right? Now, many of you have said about the corrupt practices. What are you going to write about the corrupt practices? What are we going to write about the corrupt practices? बताओ भाई. Yes, what all constitute, very good, yes, diagram, right? We can mention diagram. जैसे corrupt practices, section 123. In 123, what are the corrupt practices? For example, like bribery, right? What else? Undue influences. Undue influences. What else? Appeal in the name of religion, caste. What else? Misinformation in registration, bribery, undue influence, identity. Yes, identity. या उसके लिए false statement about your income, about your character, right? So first, So this debate, this question is about undue influences. बिकॉज अनड्यू इन्फ्लुएंसेस में सिंपल सा यूपीएससी क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है कि आपके पास अपनी जो इनकम है फिक्स, उससे ज्यादा अगर वेल्थ आप कलेक्ट कर रहे हो या होती है, सो वेदर इट शुड कॉन्स्टिट्यूट्स अ अनड्यू इन्फ्लुएंस और नॉट. सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन है, राइट? Free conveyance of voters, booth capturing, yes, it will come under, for example, economic coercion, psychological coercion, institutional coercion, right? So all these points will come under this. That is a template. But my question to you is, again, even a student who have prepared this topic would be able to write this answer. Where are you going to create an impact? For example, आपने लिख दिया कि yes, yes, it will be, there will be an influence and there will be no influence, right? Yes में how this disproportionate income would constitute undue influence. How? Because when the person, the contestant have more disproportionate income, he can influence the election. He can influence the election. How he can influence the election? Using muscle power, using money power, using freebies, providing like conveying facility to the voters कि भाई आ जाओ, गाड़ी में बैठा देता हूं, 10 गाड़ियां हैं, बोलेरो है मेरे पास, चल के वोट दे के आ जाओ. This happens, right? So he can influence the exercise of or the choice of votes or the voters. So this part is very easy. Bribery, more supporter, freebies, liquor, yes, Mrigend. Now, under no, it may not constitute undue influence. इसमें क्या लिखोगे? It is not explicitly mentioned in the provision. It is not explicitly mentioned. Okay, not explicitly mentioned. What else? What else? No direct connection. Okay, Karthik, just tell me one thing. No direct connection unless voter influence is proven. Very good. Good point. Justify it. Justify करो. Rise in per capita and GDP effect. अरे ये कहां से आ गया? No. It is not proven. That is fine. And you have to prove it. That is also fine. But yes, I am talking about the no only. But there has to be justification. How are you going to justify your argument? Yes? यार, what you guys are doing? क्या कर रहे हो नोट्स पढ़ के? आरपी एक्ट के तब बेसिक क्वेश्चन नहीं है, समझ में आ रहा है? मॉडल कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट एंड ऑल, ठीक है, ये सब फाइन. सबसे पहली चीज देखो, इसीलिए मैं बार बार बोलता हूं कि यार फोकस ऑन द ब्रेन स्टॉर्मिंग. इट्स माय हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट. Please, it's my request, focus on the brainstorming. Otherwise, what has happened in the prelims, I don't want the same thing should happen in the mains also. And if the UPSC is going to ask the same level of question in the mains, if UPSC will replicate the pattern, then everyone is going to be in the trouble. And notes, ready-made notes, templates, framework will not help. मैं यहां पे लिख देता हूं, बोलो इस चीज को, नहीं करेगा हेल्प. ओनली द ब्रेन स्टॉर्मिंग विल हेल्प. सबसे पहली चीज, व्हाई इट्स नो. Just one, tell me one thing. Any Supreme Court judgment can we talk about? Any Supreme Court judgment? Tell me. Any Supreme Court judgment? Asset disclosure case, yes, that is one thing. Because in Lok Prabhari case, it's mandatory to disclose the income. So uski wajah se kya hoga? It's a kind of check the judiciary has provided कि भाई अगर आप करप्शन का पैसा लेके बैठे हुए हो, if you have disproportionate income, you will not be able to contest the election itself. Right? उससे पहले ही आप disqualified हो जाओगे. Right? C. Subramaniam case, freebies, that is fine, but this case will not fit here. Subramaniam case, you can fit here. Yes. I'm talking about here. No, wale mein. There is one case, even there are two cases in fact, right? One is wealth accumulation alone does not inherently distort the voting behavior or free will of the electorate. Yes, Karthik, very good. Point is good. But what is the name of the judgment where the Supreme Court has said it? क्या हमारे पास कोई ये जैसे कि मैं आपको एक सोचने का तरीका बताता हूं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, वी हैव पीनल कोड्स. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, हाँ, जैसे कि बेनामी एक्ट, राइट? बेनामी एक्ट वी हैव. व्हाट एल्स? Prevention of Corruption Act. Prevention of Corruption Act. So we have a penal arrangement जिसकी वजह से we can avoid this. Already there is an arrangement. There is already an arrangement, right? Then there is important case, that is Kultar versus, I think Kultar versus Mukhtar case, 1964 का case, I guess. Kultar versus Mukhtar case. It is not directly related to the disproportionate source of income, but in this, the Supreme Court has said that there has to be what? Yes, nexus, जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं reasonable apprehension. Reasonable apprehension has to be there. मतलब डायरेक्ट नेक्सस होना चाहिए वेल्थ से और अनड्यू इन्फ्लुएंस के साथ. Otherwise, it will not constitute corrupt practices. Similarly, don't you think it should not be considered undue influence? Why? We have Constitution article, which gives you right to Article 300, right to property. I can have the wealth, I can have the assets as much as I want, है ना? So does that mean it will constitute undue? It will be considered as a corrupt practices? It is under Article 300 itself, na? Right? Whether it should be, हाँ, अगर मेरे पास disproportionate to their known source of income, but मेरे पास प्रॉपर्टी तो हो ही सकती है ना. इट कुड बी माय पूर्वजों की प्रॉपर्टी हो सकती है, इट कुड बी ऑल्सो लाइक ट्रांसफर्ड प्रॉपर्टी हो सकती है. हाँ, कौन सा?
already disclosed होगी.
हाँ हाँ
So this will be in fact benami property. So how
हाँ
does
हाँ,
benami property come under that?
नो नो, बेनामी विल नॉट कम अंडर. देखो सम टाइम इट हैपेंस कि फॉर एग्जांपल मेरे पास प्रॉपर्टी है, मेरे नाम पे नहीं, मेरे फादर के नाम पे है फॉर एग्जांपल, बट वो एसोसिएट्स में इट इज नॉट लाइक एंड देयर एसोसिएट्स, दैट इज फाइन, बट जहां तक मैं जानता हूं कि इट विल कम अंडर दैट आल्सो, क्योंकि बिकॉज कहीं ना कहीं सी, अगर आप एकदम इसको ब्रेक डाउन करने चले जाओगे देन इट विल नॉट मेक एनी सेंस. द क्वेश्चन सिंपल सा बोल रहा है, इज देयर एनी रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द वेल्थ एंड द करप्ट प्रैक्टिसेस. सिंपल सी बात है. तो आई कैन हैव द वेल्थ ऑल्सो. आर्टिकल 300 ए गारंटीज इट, मेरी प्रॉपर्टी राइट, राइट. तो जरूरी नहीं है कि मेरे पास ज्यादा पैसा होगा तो आई विल बी इन्वॉल्व इन टू अ करप्ट प्रैक्टिसेस. एज सिंपल दैट. Right. Now, there is one important case also. Shiv Kirpal Singh case. One is Shiv Kirpal Singh case. What is Shiv Kirpal Singh case? Yes. Passive possession. Passive possession. शिव इस केस में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने क्या बोला था? शिव कृपाल सिंह केस में पैसिव possession. Only passive possession will not be considered as a corrupt practices. Yes, lawful canvassing is not undue influences. Yes. So अब देखो यहां पे कंटेंट पे फोकस मत करो. अभी आइडिया क्या है? आइडिया ये है कि ये सारी चीजें क्यों आ रही हैं बाहर, बिकॉज वी आर ब्रेन स्टॉर्मिंग द क्वेश्चंस. Otherwise, you will never be able to learn the value addition point. And forget about the value addition point, you will not be able to use it. Yes, Karthik, I'm coming to that point. I'll come to that point, how it is possible to look into each and every question. I'll come to that point. Okay. So this is, and now we will move on to the way forward. So I think this is the area where we can create impact.
So just one basic thing. Sir, undue influence under article section 123, it itself doesn't talk about like income or monetary thing.
Yes.
So sir, shouldn't that be the first point under no? Like because the section itself does not talk about it.
Specifically, it does not talk about. It only says like direct or indirect influences, but it says economic coercion.
Also, it talks about injury and religious, like divine.
Okay, I think there are three things.
Sir, but income is not open.
Specifically, yes, income is not defined. So RP Act we can say, and RP Act also talks about there has to be a direct nexus. RP Act also talks about direct nexus, so that we can include, yes. Right. Now, अब यहां पे I am going to the next question. I will not discuss the answer, right? I am not going to discuss the answer. What I want you, because we are doing a brainstorming, मुझे बस एक चीज बतानी है आप लोगों को. I am not going to talk about the introduction. I just want you to tell me one thing. What is the generic approach? Generic का मतलब what most of us might have attempted this question, right? उनकी क्या approach थी and the rankers approach. How you are going to fetch 1 marks extra. Generic approach क्या होगी? Forget about the introduction. What is that portion of the answer where you can create an impact?
Make a map.
Make a map. Okay. Map of what?
Indian representing non-farm activities, industries, the regions and the yes.
Okay. Map including region and activities. What else? Can we be more specific? Yes.
We can relate it with the government initiative like diesel-based manufacturing.
Government is no. Initiatives no. More relevant. I'm not saying that government initiative will not be helpful, but it will be very difficult to think about it. The points which I'm going to explain you is very easy, and to link it, and it will be very, very relevant. Writing non-farm primary activities, effective of physiography on these activities along with examples, generic approach. Okay, Ajay, what is the smart approach then? Yes, very good. So basically, generic approach is, first we are going to talk about non-farm primary activities, right? What is non-farm primary activities, right? For example, pastoring, fishing, mining, right? Whatever you are extracting from the nature apart from the farm, that is non-farm primary activities. That is first part. Second part of the answer is, I'm talking about the generic. How are these activities related to physiographic features, right? Now, this is the first part where you can create an impact. Most of the student, what they will be doing, they will be talking about the activities here, right? For example, like fishing, right? Mining, quarrying, pasteurizing, right? And they will be linking it with the what? Region. But I will do the reverse. Why? Because question says how these activities are related to physiographic features. Now, as far as the physiographic regions features are concerned, how are you going to think about it? There are how many physiographic region itself? Forget about the feature. How many physiographic regions are there? NCERT में ही है. Yes, coastal, northern plains, coastal, island, Himalayan, deserts, right? So think about the physiographic region. इससे जानते हो क्या होगा? नंबर ऑफ पॉइंट्स ज्यादा जनरेट हो जाएंगे. नंबर ऑफ पॉइंट्स ज्यादा जनरेट हो जाएंगे अगर मैं इसको अपोजिट कर दूं ऐसे, राइट? सो व्हाट आई विल डू, आई विल write down the regions here first, right? Like Himalayan, northern plains, right? Deserts, islands, coastal plains, and then I can link it with more number of points are created like this, right? And it will be more visible because this is what you will be reflecting in the map also, right? Now the next question is, what else, what is that X factor are you going to add in this answer? ये सब लोग करके आ रहे होंगे. First of all, tell me, why do you think this question is being asked? Again, आप लोग फिर से वही चीज मिस कर रहे हो. Why this question is asked? Why do you think UPSC might have asked this question? Doubling the farmer's income, okay. What else?
To non-farm employment.
Non-farm employment, yes, okay, very good. Huh. It could be doubling farmer income, non-farm employments and all. So I will add one important parameter. In the first part of the answer, I have discussed how the physiography of India, right? How the physiography features supports, right, the non-farm primary activities. Non-farm primary activities. This is what I have discussed in the first feature. In the first part, now in the second part of the answer, I am going to highlight the examiner or in my answer, the contemporary link. What is the contemporary link? Contemporary link क्या हो सकता है? That is however, due to climate change, these physiographic feature has been disastrous. कहीं ना कहीं प्राइमरी जो एक्टिविटीज हैं, नॉन फार्म प्राइमरी एक्टिविटीज, उसको अफेक्ट कर रही है कि नहीं? यस अजय, वेरी गुड. हिमालय में चले जाओ, फॉरेस्ट्री हो रही है, राइट? वहां पे क्या हो रहा है? आइस मेल्टिंग हो रही है. कोस्टल एरिया में चले जाओ, फिशिंग है, बट बिकॉज ऑफ द सी लेवल राइज, इवन दैट एक्टिविटी इज डिक्लाइनिंग, राइट? So this is the extra part I can add in my answer to fetch 1 marks extra. Now many of you might ask why? क्यों भाई? क्यों? Because the reason is, through this extra dimension, I'm showing that how this question is linked with, or how I'm thinking with a multi-dimensional, how I'm using multi-dimensional approach. Because मैं उसको climate से भी लिंक कर रहा हूँ, environment से भी लिंक कर रहा हूँ, right? Disaster से भी लिंक कर पा रहा हूँ. मतलब GS पेपर 1 के क्वेश्चन को मैं GS 3 के साथ भी लिंक कर रहा हूँ, right? GS 1 के साथ तो लिंक कर ही रहा हूँ मैं. I'm doing it already. So this is more relevant. Government policies, see, I'm not saying government policies are not important, but focus on the government policies wala part when you are dealing with GS paper 2, governance ke questions mein. That is very, very helpful. But since this is GS paper 1, try to think like this. Is it clear? So climate change is more important. So brainstorming में यही तो करना है आपको, और क्या करना है? Yes? This one? Yeah. Like 3-4 points, that's it. 4 points is more than. Then you can like talk about the solution, how to deal with this, just 2-3 points, or way forward. Suggestion based conclusion, you can do it. What should we write in the introduction? Okay, हाँ. अब introduction में क्या लिखोगे आप बताओ? What is the idea in the introduction? Are we going to take separate space for this? You see, this is a descriptive question, right? Question start with the descriptive keyword. Matlab, this is not a critical command word. This is a descriptive command word. So directly start with this. Define. what is non-farm primary activities, right? And if you want to add the contest, because many times I have told that the introduction should capture the entire demand of the question, so you can provide the link. So you can start with the definition, and you can also write these non-farm primary activities heavily depends on the physiographic features however due to climate change the physiographic features has been disaster. That's it. So I am creating an entire context also, correct? So ये सारी चीजें आप लोगों को तभी आएगी when you know, when जब इसके ऊपर आप प्रैक्टिस करोगे, right? So the idea in this senior program is very, very simple. We just have to focus on 1 marks extra. That's it. Right? Now the next question is, which many of you have asked me during one-to-one session, that what we should be doing. ये सब तो ठीक है, करना कैसे है, right? That is what I'm sure you must be having in your mind, कि करना क्या है अब. So my simple request from all of you is, first identify what are your strength and your weaknesses as far as the content is concerned, as far as the writing is concerned, because there are many veterans who have not practiced a lot of answer writing, right, after the last mains itself. So you have to first identify where in which category you fall. Only then you will be able to balance it. So as far as the content competency is concerned, whether you have the good content or not, right? Whether you have written enough test or not. Third, whether you have the value addition. So prepared or not, right? ये 3 चीजें आपको ध्यान में रखनी है सबसे पहले, right? Whether you have good content or not, whether you have done intense answer writing or not, or whether you have value addition prepared or not, right? Now, the first step should be, the previous year's question. What you are supposed to do with the previous year's question, for example, suppose these are the previous year's questions. Suppose this is a topic, okay? This is a topic. These are the previous year's questions from constitutionalism and constitutional morality. Now, this is the last time the question which was asked from this topic is 2025, and even 2024 UPSC has asked the question. So this is a very hot topic, I would say, right? Now, ये सब बहुत जल्दी जल्दी करना है आप लोगों को. Trust me, you have just 1 week to prepare one entire subject. So you cannot afford to waste the time. Suppose these are the previous year's question. After going through these previous year's questions, you know, for example, this question, this question, this question, they all are based on the concept. these are conceptual question, right? These question, they are the application based question. So chances are very high that UPSC will stop asking the conceptual question. They will ask the application based question, right? Application could be anything. It could be related to, like this was asked in, I think, GS4, public servants, right? And this was related to the whether how the constitutional morality can ensure the balance between the judicial independence and judicial accountability in India. Which one? Okay, this one. Right. So, what you have to do, first thing, if you are not yet the part of seniors program, the very first step which you are going to do is just try to brainstorm the previous year's question. Brainstorming means what is the idea of introduction, what is the template framework we have, we can use to generate the points, what is the scope of value addition, because without this brainstorming you will not be able to prepare the content. Content prepare nahi kar paoge. But if you are a part of senior program, you already know we have done this, right? So those students who are going to join this program, they will get 80 plus lectures. There are 80 plus discussions we have already conducted on this previous year's questions, where we have discussed the demand, structuring, value addition, everything, template, framework, right? So if you are already have attended it, then what is the next point you are going to do? आप लोग हो part के, what you are supposed to do? We have done the brainstorming, right? Now what next? What next? बताओ भी, what next? Right answers. Okay, you are saying right answers. Look at this question. Constitutional morality is not natural sentiment but a product of civil education and adherence to the rule of law. Examine the significance of constitutional morality for public servants, highlighting the role in promoting good governance and ensuring accountability in public administration. Or read this question. Constitutional morality is a fulcrum. Just tell me, what is the scope of value addition in this? The fifth question. What is the scope of value addition? कहां पे वैल्यू एडिशन का स्कोप है? Generic answer you can write. I know 150 words, 250 words, you all can write. But that is not I am concerned about. You all are veterans. I want that 1 mark edge. Judgment सबको ही लिख के आएंगे. Okay.
Or Japan does this. That could be one thing. That is the major issue of India.
Judicial pronouncement about constitutional morality. Okay. Judicial accountability can be elaborated by current examples. No. अच्छा, इसमें एक चीज मुझे बताओ. Always remember this: value addition is not always a new, is not always a judgment fact. Sometimes there could be a demand. Read the question carefully. How many demands are there? First, tell me that. Yes. Question number 5. How many demands are there in the question? What is the two demand?
तो constitutional morality बतानी पड़ेगी and then how its application to ensure balance between the judicial independence and judicial. दो चीजें.
हाँ देखो, वेरी गुड साक्षी. सो यहां पे प्रॉब्लम जानते हो क्या होगी? जैसे कि इन द व्यू ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑब्जर्वेशन एक्सप्लेन द कंसेप्ट ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी and its application to ensure balance between judicial independence and judicial accountability. यहां पे क्वेश्चन क्या बोल रहा है कि हाउ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी विल इंश्योर द बैलेंस बिटवीन द अकाउंटेबिलिटी एंड द इंडिपेंडेंस. इसका मतलब कहीं ना कहीं यहां क्या है? प्रॉब्लम है. प्रॉब्लम बिटवीन judicial independence and accountability. And how the morality, constitutional morality, can fix it.
So this can go into the introduction. ना शुरुआत ही ऐसे कर सकते हैं कि there is a challenge of मतलब judicial appointment and वो 99th constitutional amendment जो struck down किया था. Then there is need of the judicial balance.
But problem with problem between judicial, हाँ that is fine. Introduction you can start with one problem. ठीक है? हाँ context. But look at each and every level, at appointment level, at contempt level. There is a issue as far as the judicial accountability and judicial independence is concerned. It is at various level.
Independence के जितने dimensions हो सकते हैं. The conduct.
हाँ. In everywhere there is a problem. Impeachment. Yes, everywhere there is a problem, which raises a question on the judicial accountability. वो हमारे यहाँ पे आ जाएंगे, right? And then we can talk about the how the constitutional morality can help it. But there is one problem again. Any other demand can we think of? NJAC Act, NCRT case. Yes, Karthik, you are thinking right, like examples. You are thinking, what is after this? What is the problem? Is there anything other, any other dimension can we think of? वो तो हम ऊपर वो दिस इज जस्ट अ कंटेक्स्ट, लाइक वो उस पे नहीं जाना है. एनी अदर पार्ट, एनी अदर डायमेंशन? नो.
Way forward can be given.
Independence without proper accountability. Independence without proper accountability, that is the okay. That is the problem, na?
So we can give the way forward because despite constitutional morality is there is an imbalance. But how to make the balance, the constitutional morality, institutionalize it, to properly appointment and.
देखो अब यहाँ पे I am going to talk about a very very important aspects. Okay, very very important aspects. This will add this next feature which I am going to talk about is going to help you in lot of answers. Lot of answers. We are talking, this question is based on a problem, right? Problem hai. So don't you think if there will be, question says morality and its application to ensure balance between judicial independence and judicial accountability in India. This is a problem, right? What is the consequences of it? इसकी वजह से क्या हो रहा है? इसकी वजह से what is the consequences of it?
Lack of accountability.
Okay. Erosion of trust. What else? Judicial overreach. Black court system. Yes. So always remember this part. Whenever the question talks about any problem, right, we are supposed to talk about the consequences of this also. कि हम उसके consequence, अगर if there would not have been any consequences, why we would be concerned about this problem itself. जो मैं हमेशा brainstorming sessions में बोलता था, cause and effect relationship. So हम लोग cause के ऊपर focus करते हैं, कभी effect के ऊपर करते हैं, कभी effect लिख देते हैं, cause लिखना. Yes, Mrigendra, very good. Cause and effect framework. See, you are able to recall it.
Can we say it violates rule of law as well?
Yes, it does. If this would not have been the concern, why UPSC will ask this question? यार, आप simple सी चीज सोचो ना. UPSC क्यों पूछेगा ये question? Right? Understood, everyone? So this is what you are supposed to do. Identify what else can I do. If you don't have that attitude, or you can say if you don't have that aptitude कि मैं एक step कैसे आगे जाऊं, कैसे learn करूं, 1 marks extra, no one can help you. कितने भी notes पढ़ लो, नहीं होने वाली ये चीजें. In mains, see, generic answer तो UPSC हर कोई लिख ही रहा है यार. Everyone is writing 150 words and 250 words, but no one is thinking about how can I add 1 marks extra in my answer. And even the examiner will read this part only, because वो 100 कॉपी चेक कर रहा है तो उसको एक जगह दिखेगी ये चीजें. Obviously he will be impressed, he will give you 1 marks extra, right? So पूरा गेम ही इसी चीज का है. Now as far as the entire plan is concerned, what are we supposed to do? For example, जैसे कि the first step is referring the topic wise PYQ, right? Second step, brainstorming. And this brainstorming is already done for most of you, right? Now, third step, for those who have already done the brainstorming, think about only 2 new dimensions. One is, third step, what is the scope of value addition? Right? And what is the next thing you are going to focus on? Value addition सोचना है, और क्या सोचोगे? बताओ भी. Brainstorming तो मैं करवा ही चुका हूं. What else do you think you are going to think about? PYQ देख के क्या करोगे? Scope of value addition and active revision. Active revision means a demand of the question that will come under the brainstorming itself. Okay. Active revision means whatever the notes you have already prepared, you need to see whether you are able to apply it or not. भाई अप्लाई ही नहीं कर पा रहे हो, बनाने का फायदा क्या हुआ? This is the active revision. This is the active revision, right? Then the fourth step, daily 5 questions, which we will be doing in camp. So who all are a part of this program, seniors program already, they will get 5 questions, the camp program free of cost without evaluation. और जो लोग ज्वाइन करेंगे ये प्रोग्राम, सीनियर्स प्रोग्राम, for them there will be you have to pay the 50% cost of the camp because the fees is already very less in the seniors program, which we have decided for 2026 batch after the prelims. So, but you will get the evaluation, right? So daily 5 question brainstorming. And 5th, weekly FLTs. आप लोगों को FLTs मिले हुए, right? FLTs you already have, so you can camp का brochure देख लेना. Camp का brochure is almost same. 5 questions every day for polity. 5 questions like day 1 polity, day 2 polity, day 3 governance, day 4 social justice, day 5 international relation. 5 दिन आपने 5 क्वेश्चन, 25 क्वेश्चन ब्रेनस्टॉर्म किए साथ में, because we will be the part of live discussion, right? Once your entire GS paper 2 is done, write weekly FLTs. So through this approach, you are daily practicing something. आप daily brainstorming कर रहे हो. And in camp, the questions are based on the current affairs. Not only current affairs, but how the PYQs are evolving in the contemporary time. The questions will be based on that. तो आपके PYQ में करवा चुका हूं. अब वो PYQ evolve कैसे हो रहे हैं? That we will learn through camp, right? So you can basically gain the benefit of brainstorming and answer writing through both the programs. So many of you might start with the new batch कि first time brainstorming नहीं करी आप लोगों ने. Lot of students are going to join the senior program who are eligible to join this program. It will be difficult for you. Mrigendra, it will be which answers you are talking about? Seniors में तो you can submit the copies ना. Ajay, I am coming to that current affair वाला part. 5 questions. Mrigendra, if you are already a part of senior program, they will not get evaluated. It is just for the brainstorming purpose. If you buy the camp by paying 50% amount, then it will get evaluated, right? Now, as far as the current affair is concerned, right? If you are going to join the current affair classes of Vajiram, which will be conducted by the Jain sir, very good. It is very, very comprehensive. However, if you are not in case, and if you are planning on your own, right, then what you can do, आप जैसे जैसे PYQ देखते हो ना, जैसे PYQ की जो topics है, you can just go on the Google and you can search like topic name and how it is evolving in the मतलब न्यूज के सेक्शन में, गूगल न्यूज के सेक्शन में जाके देख लो कि व्हाट आर द डिबेट्स हैपनिंग ऑन दिस न्यूज और ऑन दिस टॉपिक. दिस इज वेरी वेरी हेल्पफुल, ट्रस्ट मी. एंड करंट अफेयर से आपको क्या कंटेक्स्ट, मोस्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन यू जस्ट नीड द कंटेक्स्ट क्या है, राइट? देयर आर सम डिबेट इन द करंट अफेयर विच आर डायरेक्टली बीइंग आस्क्ड बाय द यूपीएससी, बट you will get the idea how the PYQ is evolving in the nature, right? So if you are going to join this program from the very beginning, I would say there are 80 brainstorming sessions, 80 plus, right? There are 80 plus brainstorming sessions. So you can watch them in 1.5x speed. In 1.5x speed. Right? So that you can cover all the 80 discussion lectures. But the process will remain same. So in 1 week, what you have to do? You have to complete all the GS2 previous year's question. आप ब्रेनस्टॉर्म करो, नोट्स को रिवाइज करो, स्कोप ऑफ वैल्यू एडिशन देखो, राइट, एक्टिव रिविजन करो, नोट्स जो बनाए हैं जस्ट सी वेदर यू कैन रेप्लिकेट देम इन और नॉट, एंड देन डेली 5 क्वेश्चन ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग, राइट.
Sir, in camp we will be writing or we will be brainstorming?
We will give you 5 questions at 8 a.m. in the morning, right? In a time bound manner, you have to write the answer, okay? And then after, for example, 8:45 the test will be over, 5 questions. After that, we will be doing a brainstorming. You will be writing the answer. We will be doing the brainstorming. भैया आप तो आंसर ही लिखोगे ना, आप एग्जाम में ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग करके थोड़ी ना आओगे, right? So idea of brainstorming is so that we can help you to think beyond the notes you have prepared, और वो एक aptitude develop हो जाए, right? So Yash, since you have 3 types of notes, current affair 1, smasher 1 note, model answers, see Yash, you just have to keep one thing in mind. For example, the PYQs I have already shown you, right? Through PYQs, just see how much data you need, yaar, how much content you need. I'm pretty sure if you are a veteran, you must be having a lot of things. You can think logically also. If you need anything in your notes, it has to be just value addition. ये मेरी बात ध्यान रख लो. If you are going to have anything else in your notes, you will not be able to use it. Now that time has gone. That is the reason also I am asking you to involve yourself in the brainstorming. Otherwise, if you will start collecting a lot of content in your notes, you will not be able to revise it. And examiner is not going to give you the marks based on 150 words or 250 words. They will be looking specifically for the value addition. So please make sure you must have a very concise notes for notes as a value addition, right? So please, Yash, is it clear? Tell me. So as far as the notes are concerned, right, based on the PYQs, only value addition. Like Supreme Court ki judgment, case studies, examples, data, right? Now, as far as the content is concerned, you have to learn it through brainstorming. You cannot afford it. You cannot afford it in the notes. That time has gone. Is it clear? आया समझ में? Yes? Pushpanjali, I have explained how to accommodate smart current affair courses with brainstorming. Whenever you are going with the smart current affair, whatever the topic the sir, whenever the sir is teaching, just pick up the topic and go back and check which type of PYQ UPSC has asked and how you can use that content of the current affair in those in the answers of those PYQ. So current affair topic, it should be like this. In a very simple language, I will tell you, right? For example, if you are reading the current affair, look for PYQ, right? Or how to use the current affair data in PYQ. If you are doing PYQ, look for current affair. Clear? Yes, Pushpanjali, is it clear now? But the thing is, they both should go parallelly. It should not be done in silos. Current affair अलग चल रहा है, PYQ अलग चल रही है. Because UPSC will not repeat the PYQ unless it is evolving in the nature. ये evolve ही नहीं कर रहा होगा, evolving तो ये it will become irrelevant. So this is the idea, right? Now, so I hope you got the plan. So every week you should be doing what? Like starting from 1st of June, week 1, GS2, जिसमें there will be 3 component. One is daily 5 questions, brainstorming in camp. Second, what? PYQ, brainstorming, जिसमें notes, update, revision, value addition, and the third one, FLT on Sundays. Right? So 1st June से start कर दो इसको, week 1 GS2 like this. Clear? बहुत ही simple सा रखो यार. Why? In week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, by end of June, you will be done with the first revision, right? You will be done with the first revision. Second week onwards, same thing, same activity. Then it will resume, like your revision, right? There will be second phase of revision. So for example, like from 1st, 2nd, 4th, so then you can say from 1st of July, second phase. Right? Second phase means half length test. Isme bhi same thing. You can again do this PYQ brain, go through the PYQ again. It's like whenever I ask the students ki, have you gone through the PYQ? Yes sir, we have gone through once we have gone through the PYQ. Yeah, I have been doing the PYQ analysis for last 80 years. Last 8 years of 40 years of question, right? So बार जब आप करोगे, then you will learn, right? Otherwise, you will not be able to understand the intent of the examiner. भाई आपको अगर किसी का mindset समझना होता है, so what do? You communicate with the person. Only then you understand what he thinks, what he will do, what he is doing, right? Similar way, if you want to know or if you want to understand the psychology of the examiner who are framing the question in UPSC, the PYQ is the only channel through which you will understand. So go through the previous year's questions again and again and just don't look at them. Sit with a pen and paper. Most of the time students just look at them. Don't look at them. Sit with a pen and paper and don't write the answer. again, don't write them the answer. Instead, brainstorm them. Brainstorming is, I would say, 1,000 times more effective than answer writing, because answer writing you will not learn just by writing more. You will learn answer writing by thinking more, or when you will start organizing your thoughts. So that is the idea of or that is the main purpose of the brainstorming. Yes, any doubt, any question? Online students, please.
So second phase में these are HLTs,
Half length test,
every day.
alternate days.
Alternate.
8 half length tests. There are 8 half length tests. You can go and check the brochure for camp. You can check it, right? So that is the thing. और कुछ doubts? So this is the PYQ file. I will share this in the group, where, so for every subject we will share this. Okay, so you don't have to run here and there कि कहाँ से मिलेंगे question. In the group I will share this file. This is for GS2, GS3 की भी we have and all, right? So, and yes, one more important thing. Very important thing. In the seniors program, what we have also included is for example, we are giving you camp, mains camp. Right, without evaluation लिख देता हूँ, नहीं तो tomorrow I don't want to take headache कि सर evaluate करवा दो, ठीक है? Second, after every test there are weekly FLTs. After weekly FLTs we will be doing brainstorming discussions again. Live on Zoom, जैसे हम लोग PYQ करते थे, where we will discuss the best answers also this time, क्योंकि पिछली बार तो लिख ही नहीं रहे थे लोग. Best answers किसने लिखे हैं, why they are best, and the approach, demand of the question, structuring, everything we will learn. So this feature we have also included, right? So make sure you attempt the FLTs on time, right? Pratik, main support program, I think you are, if you are clearing the prelims, you will get the Sureshot program, I think, right? You will get the Sureshot.
So if the FLT is on Sunday, then when will be the brainstorming happen?
Once, see, we will deliver your evaluated copies within 4-5 days. That is what we are planning. So within, if your copies are delivered in 4-5 days, then most probably we will discuss it either on Friday or Saturday. Basically, before you write the next FLT, we will brainstorm the question, जो कि आपको लगे कि हाँ, you have learned something, you should not repeat the same mistake again. So yes, right? Any other question from someone who have not yet joined this program, who are not a part of this program? Anyone? Yes? Right? So this is a holistic plan, and you have understood what you are supposed to do. Divide the timetable on a weekly basis. Give more weightage to the brainstorming. Once in a week, yes, you can write the FLTs. For value addition of PYQ, did I make separate note? Are you ask? Yes, you have to make a separate note. Yes. For essay, many of you have asked what about the essay. Essay में क्या कर लो? If you are going to join the program, well and good in Vajiram, and otherwise, still I would suggest pick up the previous year's questions, essays, and just spend like 20 to 30 minutes on a daily basis. On a daily basis, just one essay and become a philosopher. When you pick up this topic, become philosopher. When I say become a philosopher, don't become aspirant. Start thinking like a philosopher, right? Philosophers कैसे सोचते हैं? एक वर्ड को लेके बैठ जाते हैं बस, राइट? एक वर्ड को ही लेके अटक जाते हैं वो, and they start thinking how to develop the argument, philosophical argument. Don't think about the examples, facts, anything. Just become a philosopher. As much as possible, Tanishq, except data. You cannot rely on data, on AI. But as far as the ideas are concerned, yes, you can use. No issues in that. Everyone is using it nowadays. The world is dependent on AI. So yes, if you get stuck, suppose you are doing a brainstorming and you are not able, देखो यार अब time तो है नहीं. If you are not able to think about the template framework or any particular example, case studies, you can use. No, what's wrong in that? But it should not replace the brainstorming. कि आपने PYQ उठाया और सीधे उसको दे दिया क्लॉड को कि भाई तू ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग करके मुझे बता दे. डोंट डू इट. अदरवाइज देयर इज नो पॉइंट ऑफ ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग इटसेल्फ. अगर एआई कर रहा है सारा काम, एआई यूज एआई व्हेन यू आर स्टक, एंड व्हेन यू आर स्टक वी आर देयर ना, वी आर आल्सो हियर, राइट? सो यस. So idea is simple. Every day 20-30 minutes for essay, and one essay again on weekends, either Saturday or Sunday. You can pick up one essay and you can write. But again, this is very, very important. Just a rough structure जो हम mains exam में we in 30 minutes, right, we brainstorm the essay कि कैसे flow होगा, क्या क्या points होंगे. Just think about this. So इसको कर दो आप थोड़ा सा. But daily 30 minutes, not more than that, is enough. लेकिन अगर आप daily कर रहे हो तो, right, after 2 weeks you will see the change, like you will see the difference. You will start writing a very good essays. Any message for 2020 mains? 2020 mains के लिए we have conducted so many webinars and all. Dr. Bharti, please watch that. And we are also running a free series on YouTube. For last 15-20 days we have not uploaded the videos, but we will continue that. There are a lot of information we are sharing. Okay. Yes. Any other doubt? Any other question? कुछ है? Shall we conclude the session here? For any doubts, all those students who are veterans and have not joined the program, if you want to show your answers, please come to the Vajiram building. We are here. We will review the answers, and based on that, we will recommend what you should join and what you should not, what are the gaps, what should be the strategy you should be following. But make sure you bring your answers and your notes. Without looking at that, we would not be able to suggest something, very specific. So please bring your answers and notes. You are always welcome. Okay. So thank you so much, and we'll see you from 1 ठीक है, 1 मेंस कैंप का पहला टेस्ट है. So we'll see you. And yes, on 30th probably I will be taking one 0-day session जहाँ पे real life experience, like you can experience the real life camp sessions, right? It will be on 30th or 31st. 30th most probably I'm planning at 8 a.m. in the morning. So all those online student who want to join that day 0, please don't forget to fill the form, right? Then you will understand how it feels when you have to write in a time bound manner. Okay, thank you.